Y'all are tuned in to the Nashville Cavemen podcast. Let's go ahead and get this party started. Yeah, it's about that time. You rocking with your boy Damo Unleash and Sky Black on the Nashville Caveman podcast. Stay tuned.
On the whip with the crystals on the side. Doors flip up, yeah, we call it suicide. Creeping like a spider every time that I ride. Yeah, I smile at my haters just to fuck with their pride. And all so dope that the truth tell a lie. $1 million dreams make a broke nigga high. Dudes get mad when they really say hi. The paint so wet that it make a pussy slide. Some rooftop with the wood grain grip. Ain't even raining, but the paint still drip. I'm not even traveling, but baby, I'm a trip. So she riding up the mountainside just to see the tip. Top of the world, that's what they ain't wanna be. Riding in a battle, adding to my legacy. Crystals on the chrome, yeah, the body so G. I'm a stunt so hard, niggas can't stand me.
What is going on, everybody, man? Happy Tuesday. It is a beautiful Tuesday nonetheless. We want to welcome y'all to the Nashville Caveman podcast. I am your host, one half, Damo Unleash, here with a really good friend of mine that's like a brother. So I'm going to roll out the red carpet, let him introduce himself. So the floor is yours.
What's up, everybody? So happy Tuesday. Happy being able to see another week. My name is Sky Black, pro wrestler, music publisher. The D Bling radio show every Tuesday night from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. and the replays from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. And we also stream the music on offtoprecords.net. So after you listen to the music, you can stream the music. So if you are an artist that's looking for radio play, send it to me at sky.black@gmail.com. That is sky.black@gmail.com. And then after that, pass you over to Mr. Damo, do the interview. You put him to the thing for the female artist of the year and the male artist of the year, which is almost around the corner, Damo.
Man, this year is flying by. To think, at the end of the week, we're going to be, actually, when we roll into next Monday, we'll be halfway through the month. And when this Tuesday rolls around, we will be 2 weeks away from my birthday, man. So
absolutely,
I'm excited. I can't wait to get my next suit. I'm going to get clean on my birthday. Take that day off, man, and go out and have me a ball. But I'm looking forward to it. I am really looking forward to that stretch run of the So Driven Male and Female Artists of the Year. I will post the results again Monday. It is really close between Malfunction 365 and the Big Boss. You know what I'm saying? What? Rambo the King, not too far behind. So, all the artists out there, man, get y'all fan bases to push y'all. You know, make sure they stay voting.
Absolutely. So what do you think about week 1 of the NFL, man? Your Cleveland Browns, my Denver Broncos, man.
My Cleveland Browns, well, let me say this about my Browns. Because Watson is getting dumped on. He got dumped on the next day. But I'm just going to say this. When you're missing your starting left and right tackle and you're going against one of the top 3 pass rushers in the league, what do you think is going to happen?
Absolutely.
You're going against one of the premier, and Michael Parsons, one of the premier pass rushers in the league. What did they think was going to happen? You don't have your starting left and starting right tackle? What did they think he was going to do? Of course they were going to struggle. You don't even have your starting running back. He's still out for another 3 to 4 weeks.
Who's y'all starting running back? Is it Chubb?
Jerome Ford. Chubb is out. He won't be back till probably the beginning of October, mid-October.
Right.
He's still out from that knee injury. So you don't have your starting running back. You don't have your starting left tackle, your starting right tackle. What do you think going to happen? And the tackles put them behind because they were making silly, plays, man. False starts, illegal formation. And so instead of starting 1 and 10 or, 1st and 10, it was 1st and 15, 1st and 20. You don't help your team out when you do that. So what did they expect? But I will say this, guy. My other team, I don't know if you watched all the games, but did you see Anthony Richardson for the Indianapolis Colts? Did you see him slip and drop a 66-yard dime for a touchdown? I'm going to post that video.
Yeah, please
I've
do.
never seen somebody with an arm like that. That dude got a big arm. So I like our quarterback at Indy. I'm not, Deshaun, I don't think Deshaun is washed. I just think, man, you can't have your tackles, both of them be out and going against a premier rush team. Just can't have it.
They got to do what they got to do. Remember, they paid him all that money. They have no room under the salary cap to go get
That's the sad
a
part.
good tackle.
Yeah, that's the sad part. But these guys, man, you start the season injured. The left tackle was injured most of last year, and then he injured already. The season ain't started. What were you doing? You got to rehabilitate. You got to make sure you're there. You got to be there. If you're not there to contribute, how are you helping the team? So,
absolutely. What's
I
up,
like that
Malfunction?
quarterback. I was watching Denver. I like Denver. Of course, he looked like a rookie, but I see with Bo Nix, I see a lot of promise. You got to give him time and got to be patient.
I think they let that game slip against Seattle, man. They were up and then they let them come back. It's Denver's. Everything's like towards the fourth quarter, man. They get relaxed or tired, 1 to 2.
Yep. Well, that Mile High, man, the air up there is different because, the evolution of them, man. They're in the mountains.
Yep.
So it's a little tougher, man, to breathe in Denver than it is anywhere else. They don't call it Mile High for nothing.
Mile High till I die. Denver Bronco fan.
I know, he ain't lying,
That's
man. Win, lose, or draw, he is not lying. What is going on? Malfunction, man, 365. What's going on, brother? Thank you for that plug in yesterday. I appreciate you. Man, we got some good topics on deck for y'all, right? The importance of finding purpose and value in a relationship and marriage. I got this video I want to play for y'all. It's really, really deep. I don't know if I'm going to start the show off with it. I may start it off halfway. I may start this off maybe midway between because I want more people to show up. But I can't wait to show y'all this. A side chick stabs her boyfriend's wife 9 times. So we're going to talk about that. Allegedly, Biggie had a transgender as a main character in his music video. And man, when I seen this, I was just like, my jaw hit the ground. I'm like, whoa. We know that that's a part of hip hop now, but I just didn't know back then that was like a real thing. Also, a woman leaves a family restaurant, all right, and starts her own business using the family's recipe. Was she wrong? So imagine, Sky, I go ahead and y'all hire me in your family business. I'm there for a year. I learn the recipe, and then I take the recipe from your family and start my own business. That's basically what the woman did.
So was she literally a part of the family, or she just got hired on?
No, she was just hired on. She was not part of the family. Also, the woman you choose is the most important decision a man will ever make. I'll say this again, fellas. The woman you choose is the most important decision you will ever make. So, that's what we got to talk about on deck today. Sky, man, how was your week? Before we get going, man, how was your week, man? Anything new?
No, nothing really new, man. Just enjoyed Thursday night football, and then turn around and Sunday just watching football all day, man. It's just a blessing to see the 2024 season. Which to me, I still don't think anything's gonna change. My money, my hat's on Kansas City three-peat, and so
That was a hell of a game, what? That was a hell of a game.
I don't know what
And
they
I
were
was like,
thinking.
Sky was right. Sky, you were absolutely right. Don't
Yeah.
ever bet against Patrick Mahomes. I would not put my money against Patrick Mahomes. Not ever. Hey,
Okay. My thing with Baltimore was this: what was you going to get out of having Lamar Jackson drop down to 212 or whatever he was? He is a running quarterback. You made him drop 10 to 15 pounds, right?
right.
What is he supposed to do? He was already quick, so it wasn't going to make him quicker. So now
Right.
you asking him to run up against 300-pound linemen, 250-pound linebackers at 212? Like that made no sense to me.
They trying to get him hurt, because I'm telling you, if I'm gonna be going up against guys that size, I want to have a little bit of size on me also.
He
But I
did
think
last year. And he
you
did
gonna
last
outrun
year. That's
him.
why I don't understand what was the purpose of dropping that type of weight to be a running quarterback. He is not a passing quarterback. It's just not him.
Right. And that was a good game, because they were literally an inch from tying that game up.
Right.
I'm
And then,
talking about
Harbaugh wanted to go for two. If that touchdown would have stood, he wanted to go for two because he knew damn well he didn't want Kansas City to get that ball back in overtime. We either gonna win it or we gonna lose it right here. Yeah, that's what he wanted. But I don't know. I just didn't see what Baltimore was trying to do, because you have Derrick Henry with the size. You could have had Lamar Jackson with a little size. Then you could have wore down these defensive guys. But, man, you talking about a 17-game season at 212 pounds? No, I'm sorry.
I don't understand why they didn't run Derrick Henry more. They should have run him the ball a lot more than they did.
I don't think no team knows what to do with
the specific reason you just said, to wear down that defensive line, they should have run them more. So I don't know what they were thinking.
I don't know. I don't think any team knows what to do with Derrick Henry, because we in a passing league, and I would just believe that the running backs are just decoys now, And so that's why I didn't understand why the Titans let Derrick Henry go, because this is why. First of all, they should have never lost to Chicago. Caleb Williams is a rookie. The only time he's ever played was in scrimmage games, preseason games, and practice squad games. That was his very first live NFL game. You should not be losing to a rookie day one.
Well, I tell you what, when your quarterback is literally handing the ball off to the other team, I mean, man, they beat themselves. Chicago didn't beat Tennessee.
Yeah,
Titans literally beat themselves.
And so, to me, the reason the Bears was able to hang on, because Pollard is a good back. He's more like a scat back coming out of Dallas. When you had Derrick Henry, you still had to respect Derrick Henry. When you have Derrick Henry in your backfield, them linebackers ain't got to creep up. They ain't got to. What they creeping up for? They do not respect your run game. So them linebackers are going to creep back into that passing game. And that's when you start seeing the interceptions, the tip balls, and wide receivers not getting open, because you're not making the linebackers respect that running game.
Right.
And Will Levis is not a perennial quarterback. He's a good quarterback, but he's not one of those you can just say, "Oh, hey, Peyton, man, take the game over." It's not that.
I tell you a quarterback that everybody better be very fearful of this year. C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud with the Houston Texans, with all the weapons they had. And they talk about a sophomore slump. Didn't look like it Sunday.
No, it sure did.
Did not look like it.
Did not. They played the division game, right? They played the Colts.
Yeah, they played the Colts. They beat us by 2. It was a good classic game. I would say this. Shout out to my fantasy team, because I did win first game of the season. So I just started off 1-0. You know what I'm saying? Thanks to Tyreek Hill and AJ Brown, man, who both showed out and showed up for me, man. So I got off on the right foot.
Absolutely.
Chasing that trophy and that money. Absolutely. You know, I'm already spending that money. I'm already looking at suits and stuff that I'm going to get. I got some side feet I'm going to get. I'm already telling them, thank y'all. You know what I'm saying? For the gift that keeps on giving.
Absolutely. Yeah, but that was just week one. We got a hell of a lot more. It's a long season, but it's just, for me, I just don't see any team, no Buffalo, no Miami, no Baltimore. When it counts in the playoffs, those guys just can't be Kansas City whatsoever.
Yeah.
They don't
know. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a very, very interesting year, y'all. I also wanted to say this. I wanted to give this. Something new that's on our podcast. For all the artists that's out there, if you want your music, let me show y'all an example of this. If you want your music to be showcased live during the podcast, for example, like this, we can now play artist music during the podcast. If you're interested in that, man, whatever you have in your budget, you know, either shoot it to me or Sky. You can see our Cash App right there. We'll upload your music and promote you live during the show. Usually we go to the commercial break where we can literally play your music in the background while we're doing the show now. So that is a new feature that we have. This is some old music I did 20 years ago, actually 25 years ago. So if you want your music showcased, either whatever's in your budget, Cash App me or Sky, and let's go ahead and get you uploaded.
Absolutely.
So, but man, you know what, y'all? We gonna go ahead and get to some of these stories, man. The first one I want to talk about, I think this is very, very important. Fellas, the biggest decision that you will make in your life is the woman that you choose. I can't stress how important that is. So we're going to go ahead and talk about that and get to that. So let me pull it up.
Be controversial. I know it's going to be controversial because I've said before, you can't make me stop talking. But I'm going to let her speak first. I'm going to let her run, and I'm going to come with my view.
The woman you choose to be with is the most important decision you will ever make in your life. She can make or break you. Literally. Make or break you. Emotionally, psychologically, financially, spiritually.
I said it before.
She can make or break you.
It's going to be controversial. I know some of y'all going to click out the video as soon as I say ready to start typing.
So we're going to talk about that. She is absolutely right. Fellas, the woman that you pick, physically, emotionally, spiritually, can make and absolutely break you. I can't tell y'all how many men that we see that were on a path to greatness that got with the wrong woman and now are sleeping on the street. If y'all need to go out and get out and talk to some of these homeless dudes who are on a great path, and then, man, they got with the wrong woman, divorce happened, and then all of a sudden, man, they are lying in ruins.
Absolutely. She said choose the woman you choose is the most important decision you're making in your life.
That's the kids you have with them. You know, you think about it. That goes for not just relationship-wise, but who you choose to have kids with.
Right.
How many dudes that the women make it absolutely hard for them to even see their kids?
Right. I'm on the fence with that because me personally, the biggest decision I ever made in my life was purchasing a home. The second biggest decision was my car, and the third biggest decision was leaving my parents' house. So that's just mine. And then once I gained my assets and foundation, then I guess the next biggest decision was who I'm going to share it with. I guess, does that make sense? I mean, I understand
Yes.
what she is saying. I completely agree with what she's saying. But for most people, it could be 1A, 1B on your spouse, because if you come into a situation where you ain't got nothing and she has everything, is that the best decision? Or you have everything and she has nothing, is that the best decision? Or do you want to be here and you want your spouse to be here? Like, when you say the best decision of your life, what are you looking for out of this woman? Kids, structure, legacy? I mean, what are you looking for? So I see where she's coming from, but I don't think for me the very most important thing in my life was, because if I could do it without a woman, right? Let's just say I became successful without having a woman, right? Then when I pick one, I can't see her being the biggest decision I ever made in my life. Do you see what I'm saying? Whether I have children with her or not. But if me and her were both getting it from the mud and she helped me come up, then okay, I agree 100%. Yeah, that was the best decision. Or like these millionaires, they date these young women and then next thing they know, they go broke. As Mel Gibson. He went broke on that young girl. Then you're like, yeah, that's the worst decision I ever made in my life. So I think it's psychological. To each his own.
I don't think she's saying best or worst. I think what she was saying, alluding to, was the most important. Like,
right, most important, yeah. To each his own on that one. I don't know if that's the most important.
I think it's different for you because you're smart enough to know that to protect your assets. So you think on a different level. You think really business. You understand the business side of marriage. Meaning that it's okay to get married, but you still got to protect your assets. Meaning that if it don't work out, you got to have paperwork to protect you. I think where she's getting at and where she's right at is most dudes don't. They get married, they think, oh, I don't need a prenup, right? And you can get with a woman and not have nothing when you get with her. Work and build, and then she decide that she wants to move on and take half of everything. You see what I'm saying? So because the our government give women the power to do so, men too, but there's not a lot of men where the women are the breadwinners. We seeing more and more of that, but most of them women, man, when they get up to a certain level, they don't want to deal with men that make less than them. Most of them want a man to make just as much as them or more than them. So when a divorce happens and a woman can take half, that is kind of the most, if you don't have the paperwork, which I don't, a lot of dudes don't, it is violent. That's what she means, that they can literally break you. Imagine you have kids, and I know the most important part of marriage is kids. So a woman being able to take your kids away from you, that, you know, is something that can break. Look how many men we've seen that break. Absolutely. We even talk about the financial part. That's one element. What about the kids? That's a whole nother element.
Absolutely. Well, and again, if you're just talking about just the average person coming of age, finding a wife or a girlfriend or a fiance, then yeah, she could be right on that. But again, to me, it's still each his own, because there's some people in this world who will never get married and who will die alone. So I was always taught what you have is what you respect or keep. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What you have is what you value, right? So, you know, if you walk in my house, you'll see title belts and He-Man toys and all that stuff. So yeah, I have it because I value it. What you don't have is what you don't value, right? So if you are a man or woman that's alone and you don't have a spouse, from what I was taught, then at that point in time in your life, you don't value it enough to get it. So if you don't value enough to get it, is it really the most important decision you'll ever make?
Right. Yeah, if that's not a direction you're moving in, if you're not really one is really care for getting married, or you not really don't care for a serious relationship, no. You know what I'm saying? But if that's a direction you do want to move in and you've worked and you've built, I don't know if you've seen the video. It's actually something that went viral on the internet, where this man was talking about how it took him 40 years. Well, I don't know about 40 because you wasn't really building what you built when you was a youth. But when he came of age, I would say 20. He built, you know what I'm saying, like a whole lot. Multiple 2 houses, multiple vehicles. Got with this woman, and in 7 years, man, she's taken half of everything that he built. And that is, that decision cost him half of everything he built.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? So once you make that choice, it is. If you make a decision that you're going to bring somebody into your life, and you know what's yours or theirs, and vice versa, and you're the breadwinner, you better be right. If you bring them into your life, you better be right about it.
Right.
Or
well, I agree with what she's saying, Damo. I just think she just did it on a broad spectrum. You know how you write an essay and they tell you to narrow it down? I think she should have just narrowed it down to a specific group or specific statistics. Yeah, and then I can see that. But when you have a broad stroke, then you just, like they tell you write essays in college, you everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Trim it down. So she did. If you did it that way, I do agree 100%. And this guy, what he was talking about, that built all these things, he fell in love thinking he's gonna be married for the rest of his life, and it didn't happen.
Which is why I think it's a very smart approach. That the way, and you talk about this all the time, and I'm grateful that you talk about this all the time, to protect your assets. When you build, and it took you years to build anything, you got to have insurance. And a lot of dudes, when they get and they fall in love, they think with the mindset that it's going to last forever. Dudes, when we get married, we don't get married with the intention that divorce is going to happen. Because if we did, you would see a whole lot more prenups. But we don't think on that level. I think it's sad too, because I think a lot of females do. I think, you know, for them, it's a lottery ticket. You know what I'm saying? It's a come up.
It is.
You know, once I seal the deal and I get this dude, you know, that invest in me, if it don't work, I can't leave him, man, and I'm leaving with more than what I came with.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so that's why I'm always a proponent of it. Now, listen, there's going to be some 9 to 5 folks that, well, my mom and dad didn't have a prenup, my grandparents didn't have a prenup, their parents never, we don't believe in it, and that's absolutely fine. I wish you the best of luck. I hope your marriage lasts 82 years. But if somehow it does not, whichever, and then another thing, depends on what the story you just told, I don't know what state he lived in. That's another thing that's wrong with people.
You don't know the laws of the state. You're right.
The state before you do it. I had to research the laws of the state before I open a business, before you get married, before you travel, before you buy. You need to carry a gun. You need to learn the laws of your state, first off. But for those of you who don't believe in it, just in case something happens, whoever is the breadwinner, most likely going to lose 2/3 of their income to the one who's not over a certain period of time. So if your wife divorces you and you don't have a prenup, then the judge will say, hey, she and the kids is used to this lifestyle. You're going to provide her for the next 5 to 10 years, or unless she gets remarried. Do you see what I'm saying? So a lot of guys hope, God, I hope she gets remarried. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, but you shouldn't have to do that. Why would you hope? You know, you get with a girl and you say, hey, this is what I bring to the table. This is what you bring to the table. I need to protect this. And she's like, well, I feel some type of way. Well, you know, ain't no way. But a lot of dudes are just self-conscious, man. They see this hot girl, and if I can bag her, my friends gonna be like, ooh, she dope. And she's hot, and she looks good. She's a dime piece. And she's telling you, well, if you want to be with me, I don't want to prenup. Okay, cool. Then she's with you for 4 or 5 years. And then guess what? She leaves you to be with somebody else. And then you sitting there assed out looking silly. What's up, AJ?
I think Sky will, Angela. I think you, matter of fact, man, I think you just smart. I think Sky's approach to it is a business. I think that's why Sky's going to be successful when he get married, is because he understands it's a business. I think the people that don't understand that is destined to fail.
Yeah.
They destined to fail. People build, they base it all on love. And I'm going to tell y'all, man, that is the worst thing. Yes, love is an important element of it, but it should not be the foundation of marriage. I'm telling you.
Because if that was the case,
because most people,
the government wouldn't tax it. We wouldn't have a license. Back when Jesus was walking the earth, there was no damn paperwork. The community got together and you got married. There was no paperwork, no license. Even in certain parts of Europe during certain ages, there was no license. I need to, usually when I'm wrong about something, I like to correct, and I know this goes back many, many videos, but we was talking about some things, and I said that King Henry IV or 14th started the Catholic Church. I was wrong about that. So pardon me if you watch the old videos and I said that he started the Church of England. So I just want to correct myself. And I know a lot of videos, I said he started the Catholic Church because he wanted to divorce his wife. No, he started the Church of England. Now, back to what we were saying. Yeah, and so at the same time, I always would just tell these young people, just protect yourself. And if you with a woman who loves you, it's just a piece of paper. Like the marriage license, it's just a piece of paper. If y'all never get divorced and y'all die, then that damn thing gonna collect dust and the ink gonna run dry, right?
You know what, Sky? I think the most important element, I mean, other than the relationship and even the marriage, is the courting stage. Yeah. I think people don't take enough time to build communication. It's not because the communication part is what fails the marriage.
Absolutely.
It's the lack of communication. It's not the infidelity. It's not none of that. It is the lack of communication.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, thank you, AK, for the belief in me. Thank you. You're right. It is the lack of communication because a lot of people are scared to have the tough conversations, right? So let's just say, especially with women and kids, that's the toughest conversation they ever have, right? I didn't have that conversation. When my child was born, their mama was in the delivery table looking silly. She had the hospital on this side saying, how you gonna pay for this baby that came into this world? And she had the other insurance on this side saying, if this baby die today, how you gonna bury it? But you can't have those conversations with women, but it's possible that your baby could die an hour later after birth. That's just an example. So if women can't have those tough conversations, imagine when they get older, trying to have conversations about prenups and wills and legacies and trust and all this old type of things. They ain't trying to have those conversations.
I tell you, the number one conversation that people need to have is just the conversation of understanding of love, period. Right?
Right.
And here's what I mean by that. Most people, they have to ask themselves, if love is what you want to build the foundation of, then whose love are we talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Your idea of love or the person you with, their idea of love? Because
absolutely.
The biggest issue is people turn love into prison.
Mm-hmm.
They take love and turn it into prison. I'll give you an example, Sky. And I know this is me playing devil's advocate. So I don't want y'all to take what I'm saying one way or another, but I just want to give y'all some food for thought. If me making you happy is the most important thing, right? I just want to make you happy. Well, what if I came to you and I said, well, you know what? I love you. There's areas that it's not that you don't satisfy me in, but I like to have experiences with other people. And I'm just going to let you know of this or that. Then who are you to deny me if that's what make me happy of doing that? Because it's one thing if I go behind your back and betray you. It's another thing to say, hey, I want to have this experience with this person. I love you. If you was to fall ill right now, you know what I mean? If you was to be, like you couldn't walk anymore. You couldn't talk anymore. If I had to literally bathe you, wipe your ass, whatever it is, you could count on me to be there. But I'm going to go and do what make me happy. Then what's important? What you deem as your boundaries of love or mine?
And that's the conversations you got to have. Because if you say that to a woman and she's like, no, I don't share my man. I know I can't do that. Then okay, we'll just be friends and we'll move on. But what happens is they wait till they get too deep in the relationship. They done brought in kids or they done got married. And then you want to bring up, I want to go outside and do this. You should have said that. Date number one. When y'all eating that salad that she ain't going to never finish. You should have
playing
that
devil's
right there.
advocate. Because Sky, we talked about this, I think last week, and I hate that they didn't record this and post this on my page, man. Because I thought last week's conversation was absolutely awesome. But we were talking about this. Most people don't like to share, but they share anyway.
Right.
As soon as you lose your virginity, the next person you share, because somebody else that had you. So you're just not sharing at the same time.
Absolutely.
It's just like, if I bite a sandwich and then I walk off and then you come and bite the sandwich behind me, we both share that same sandwich. We just didn't share it at the same time.
Absolutely.
When y'all have kids with a dude and then y'all don't work out, or fellas, when y'all have kids with a woman and y'all don't work out, once you move on, you share.
Absolutely.
So I don't get this.
There's a good way of thinking about that. Yeah.
It's really a pride thing. It's an ego thing. People think that now I got you, you know what I'm saying? And it's their pride and ego of why, but they already sharing. They just don't really want to acknowledge that.
Absolutely. And a lot of women are emotional. I remember a long time ago, my daughter had this baby doll and we was at home and the other little girls wanted to play with it. She was like, no, mine is my baby doll. I'm like, well, I don't share. But she loved that baby doll and she didn't want to share. Well, them same little girls grow up to be women. That's my man. I don't want to share him. I don't want him looking at another woman, talking to another woman. All your female friends got to go. You know, if they could get rid of your mama, your grandmama, and your sister, they would. Anything that has tits and ass, they would get rid of them. Absolutely. And see, that's the type of shit I can't go through. That would drive me.
And let me tell you.
Crazy.
Let me tell you. Once, and especially, and this is why the body count thing matters. You know what I'm saying? As far as like when we looking at females, once y'all have a certain amount, we don't want to be laying there with you, right? And 15, 20 years from now it's like, I've been having this same old. Now you laying there to please yourself. You thinking about another experience you had. You see what I'm saying? Because that's human nature. You compare. When you have multiple of anything, you compare. And most people don't want to do that. So you are sharing. People don't want to acknowledge that, but they really are sharing.
Well, what's the difference? It's no different than comparing food, comparing clothes, comparing shoes. Absolutely. So when you're sitting there and you know that you're sitting next to a woman that other people has had, let's just say recently, right? Let's just say you sitting next to a girl talking to her, and you know in the back of your mind, my homeboy hit this and another dude hit this. Why would you want it? Why would you be serious about that relationship? Because every time you go around these guys, all they're going to do is think about the times that they hit it, and then she might be in the back of her mind think about the times that she let them hit it. So why would you even be in a relationship with a girl like that?
And that's the crazy part. That's that thin ice, thin line. Because really, I ask myself this: is her happiness, how important is her happiness? Like my insecurities and my pride should not be what imprison her as far as like what she deemed as her happiness. That's why it took me a while to understand Jada Pinkett and Will Smith's the dynamic of their marriage. It took me a while to understand it. But I was like, man, Will I understand what Will, and he battles with this. But he's like, if it's really all about her happiness and what makes her happy, then who am I to interfere with that? Because I'm not responsible for making her happy. She is responsible for making herself happy. All I have is just certain rules that I need her to abide by. Now, when it comes to their situation, yes, I think Jada Pinkett, broke some rules. Because you don't bring your son's friend into your bedroom. You just don't do nothing like that. There has to be some level of respect when it comes to Will that I just absolutely think that she broke. But I bet you, I'm quite sure she came to Will and they had that conversation. I'm about sure of it. You know what I'm saying? Now, was Will hurt by it a little bit? I'm sure he is. Because, man, when you're bred to think one way, and then you evolving and evolving into something else, it's hard to deal with that mentally. But I'm quite sure they had that conversation.
Absolutely. Well, if I was in Hollywood anyway, there's no way I would probably never marry, and B, I would know just offhand that this woman that I'm with, when my back is turned, she's probably doing her own thing, because this is Hollywood. People sleep with everybody. They have threesomes. They swing. You're not going to hold down a person in Hollywood. I'm just sorry. It's just too much access. You know,
Shit,
it's just not that.
Hollywood, the runaway chicks. I promise you, I've been on all social media platforms, and we see dudes that say they done slept with more married women than anybody.
Yeah.
And it makes sense, because you know what? A lot of men, we're prideful. We think, man, let me tell you how the thing that gets us in trouble. We think, man, the female telling us, man, feeding our ego, that we the man. Oh, man, she ain't gonna do this. I'll put that pipe on her, man. You know what I'm saying? We be acting like we got the greatest pipe in the world. Meanwhile, them chicks, man, it ain't got nothing to do with your size or how you work or anything, right? They can just simply come across a dude and just want to experience with it. And it's a lot of dudes that they going through that. There's a reason why they won't make these paternity tests mandatory. Our government know what happened. They know, man, they know it will be chaos in the street if they all of a sudden did mandatory testing. It will be chaos. They know a lot of these chicks ain't faithful. It ain't what we think. The government know. That's why they ain't gonna do it. They can afford to do these paternity tests, but they ain't gonna do them, are they?
Absolutely.
So most people think they're not sharing. They sharing
100%.
anything.
Hey, and you know what? You know what? I would have done it. I wouldn't even need to go. If I knew what I knew now, I'm like, hey, we forget a paternity test. It's yours. It's yours. You here? Sign the birth certificate. Nope. They gonna give us a free one, because you smoke paternity test like $400 something. They give us a free one.
Hey, that was that Illuminati stuff.
Yeah, let's do this, because a lot of these women are not faithful, and a lot of these married women are not. But just be honest, because I be telling folks we're all animals. I don't think we was here to be just with one person. I don't think we're here to just be in one house. All animals roam except for humans. We're the only people who have to go to work and pay for where we live, pay for our food. You don't see no other animals on this planet do that. The male lion does not sleep with a female lion and be like, you know what, you're the only one I'm gonna sleep with. That's a lie and a half. He sleeps with her. He finds another female lion, sleeps with her, finds another. So he's building prides all over the Africa, wherever he's at. So as I matured and got older, stuff like that don't faze me no more. Because I'm with you. Marriage to me, most marriage, like you said, is building a legacy, and that's what a lot of us need to start doing, leaving things for the next generation. So when they come out of high school and college, they have a leg up. Legacy, your last name, passing it down. The Vanderbilts, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, all white people. How many black folks do we have? I mean, we have the Tyler Perrys now and the Oprahs, but we just got them. The names I've said go all the way back to the 17, 16, 1500s. So we just got them. What about us? When are we going to start doing things like that? And like you said, when things are just built on love, then whose love is it? And a lot of women ain't gonna let you do it. A lot of women's not gonna be like, well,
I mean, is it your idea of love?
What you say, Damo?
Right. It's like, whose idea of love? Is it your idea of love and what makes you secure, or is it their idea of love? Right?
Right.
That's what it really what it comes down. Whose happiness? Is it your self-happiness in your boundary of law and your security, in your pride, or is it truly what makes them happy?
Absolutely.
That's the question. Is it unconditional? I think love is not unconditional. I'm going to say this before I move on to the next story. I just want to make this. If the love is not unconditional, then what's the point? If there's conditions that bound your love to me, meaning that you say, well, if you do this and this and this, I'm no longer going to love you, then what value do your love really have? Because I want the Jesus, God kind of love. No matter what goes on, you're going to love me unconditional.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you are with the flaw, but I'm going to absolutely love you no matter what. If it's not based on that, then what are we doing?
Well, AK, no, we're not on the Illuminati stuff. And marriage is to be a soulmate to one. That's okay. That's how you see marriage, and I believe you're married, AK. So I hope and pray that you never have to ever see a divorce lawyer or go through anything where you and your husband split up. So if that's how y'all came into it, as that's my soulmate, that's fine. But I think differently. I know 80% of marriages don't last past 5-6 years. So
and it makes me think: is there really such thing as soulmate? Because a soulmate is only a soulmate until they do something that hurts you, and then it's no longer a soulmate.
Right.
So if it truly is a soulmate, a true soulmate is unconditional love. I don't care if you did all of this. You know, I don't care what you go out here and do. Long as you protect me to a degree, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to love you unconditional. If the love is not unconditional, there's really no such thing as a soulmate. If it is bound by any laws or rules that based on your comfort and not the other person's, then to them it's really a prison. That's why I think the majority of people that are married are miserable. And they don't have these conversations that Sky, what me and you are talking about right now. They don't have these conversations. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we forget that people change. So the things that you may, the way you may look at things maybe 20, 30 years ago, you don't look at them anymore. You don't look at them like that anymore. And I think even with that, even with God's law, I don't like to bring religion into it because most people don't come into the covenant under, they're not virgins. So they only move that needle. They only, most people bring in religion, but then, man, it's like, well, both of y'all virgins? Because if we not, what are we talking about here?
Absolutely. So under God's law, you're supposed to be a virgin. He's supposed to be a virgin, right? Wear white, doves. Ain't nobody. What woman in your family or do you know that actually got married as a virgin? If you could answer me, please. You know darn well nobody that you know or I know by the time they got married was a virgin. All the women I know in Edgehill that had so many. I knew a girl, her name was Latasha Vaughn, had a child in the 10th grade. So I know damn well that them girls in the Edgehill by the time they got married were not virgins.
I do think that there are women out here that are virgins, but you will very seldom find where the woman and the man were virgins. Because it's not just about the woman being a virgin, it's about the man also. And so people like to talk about, they like to bring religion into it, but both parties got to come in as virgins. If both parties aren't coming in as virgins, right? Then what are we talking about? Why are we including religion in it?
Absolutely. So your cousin was a virgin.
You know what I'm saying? Because people
was her husband
to do all
a virgin
that dirt and then become religious.
Yeah. Was her husband a virgin?
So that's all I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? Like the majority. Because that's important too.
Absolutely. And so when people ask, do they have my unconditional love? Mine come with strings, right? My unconditional love comes with
and I believe there are some dudes that are virgins, but they are far and few between.
Far and few between.
Where it's very far and few in between where both parties are virgins.
Absolutely. And so my unconditional love comes with trust. When I no longer trust you, then and I don't even know if I still love you, not to be honest with you. I mean, I love you to a fact.
And see, I don't have it. I want to grow into that.
Right.
I want to grow into unconditional love. Meaning that no matter what you do, whatever makes you happy, I'm going to support it.
Right. And so once you break my trust,
I definitely want to evolve into that. I want to evolve into unconditional. I think that's the next step for me. Because right now, I admit it. I deal with insecurities, pride, and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So for me, there is no unconditional. I have unconditional trust and unconditional love. You break one of the two, there is no unconditional nothing.
So then the question is there, I mean, if it's
So for me, my love and my trust is conditional until you can get me to a unconditional to the love and trust. If I don't trust you, I don't love you. If I don't love you, I probably don't trust you. So,
And I don't
you know,
trust you. I'm just gonna tell you. I don't care
money.
who it is.
That's
I
why I
do
say it's
not
on money
trust.
and love we trust, right? In God
Right.
we
I
trust.
don't have trust for anybody. Now, your loyalty is one thing. Your trust, I don't trust. Because if you, I'm gonna tell you why I never had trust. Telling me to have trust is like saying that I believe that if my old lady was at a hotel full of men, that I can trust that she gonna do the right thing. I'm gonna have blind faith. And I never had that kind of blind faith. I'm sorry. I'm just not. To me, that means that no matter what, I have blind faith that you're going to do the right thing. And because people are flawed, I will never have blind faith in a person doing the right thing all the time because we're flawed.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
your loyalty, you could go ahead and I could say this, right? And I know people going to be like, he said, what? Did he really say that? You could go out. I don't know what you're doing when you're not around me. You could go and get your back blown out. I just require you don't bring no kid back that ain't mine
Amen.
and no disease to my
Amen.
body.
Absolutely.
Outside of that, if that's what makes you happy, you do you. Because I'm not
So
responsible for your happiness. You see what I'm
absolutely.
saying?
So
And the
preach.
truth be told, as tough as that is, as a man to say that, if I am all about what makes you happy, then I should be fully about what makes you happy, no matter what it is. Long as I can count on you when I need you, that should be the only focus of mine. Are you there when I need you? If I was to get
Absolutely.
cancer, can I count on you if I'm withered and I can barely get out of bed to be the one to pick up the load?
Absolutely.
That's
And
all that
that
should matter.
and that's why I'm glad that you preach that, because there's people in this world that wear a mask. They don't want to be who they are. When they're around me or something, they want to be one way, and then when they're around other people, they want to be another way. I'm like, no, be you 100%. If this is what you like to do, go do it. I mean, I don't trust you. I don't have that. I know women are going to be women. Men are going to be men. Like you said,
Man,
don't bring it back here.
that's
That's
it.
all
That's
I
all
worry
I
about.
require. Because
That's
I'm
all
gonna
I
tell y'all
worry about.
this. You know what, Sky? And this is why I said I want to reach that level. Because I think most people's love is hidden by their insecurity and their
Right.
pride. That's it. The only reason why people get mad when they get cheated on is it's a pride thing.
Right.
Especially with dudes, because dudes, we think, well, we got something that she ain't never had no D like this. And we get fooled by our own pride. You know what I'm saying? And so at the end of the day, you got to think about what really is important. And this next story, I want y'all to listen to this because this is very important. I was so glad, Sky, I found this. I
Right.
think this is gold. If y'all are watching, listen real carefully.
Hey,
Because
Damo,
this might get a little deep.
Before you move real quick, I just want to say, if you're with a woman, whether you're married, fiance, or y'all just kicking it, if you with a woman who's not a virgin and she's had previous sex before, that means she knows how to leave one guy and go to another guy to have sex. So what makes you think she won't leave you, whether you married to her or not, and go to another guy and have sex? That's why they say virgins with virgins, because if I marry a virgin, she don't know what it's like to be with anybody else, so she's not going to want to attempt to
She
go
ain't got
anywhere
nothing to
else.
compare you
But
to.
if I marry a woman who's already have kids or already have sex, or I'm talking to a girl who got kids and she's sleeping with everybody, then what she would do with me, she will do against me. Hence the prenup. Go ahead.
And with that said, I want y'all to listen to this. I'm telling y'all, this was very powerful. I was so glad I came across this. And it's the purpose and the value of a relationship. Because I think some people, they get lost in all this internet talk and they don't really understand the value and the purpose of it. So I want y'all to listen to this. Check this out.
I didn't want to tell this story, but her request, she wanted me to tell it. Brace yourself. This is a hard one. Young lady reached out to me and she said, Joe, can I tell you my story? I want you to share it with me. Share it with your people. So yeah. She said, I was diagnosed with cancer. I said, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. She snuck. But let me take you back. She had an amazing man. We was building together in our 20s. He just wanted a child. He put me through school and helped me through school. And I told him, just let me get my bachelor's degree, get my footing, and we can start our family. Then it was, let me get my master's degree, and then we'll start our family. Kept putting it on. Let me get in this career. Let me get a certain place in my career, and then we'll start our family. And she said, Joe, I grind, man. And that man waited for me. He was a good man. Never cheated on me. Good provider. He wasn't a college man. He didn't ever go to college, but he was a good dude. A couple of years went by. He was like, okay, I want to have a child. She said, I don't want any kids right now. You got to make more money. You got to make this. You have to do this and do that. And he was like, I'm good where I'm at. So then she told him, you're not on my level. I want a divorce. I need a man on my level. She got a divorce. She went out there and had a hot girl summer. She said, girl, go find your man on your level. He wasn't on your level. It's funny how your girlfriends will always co-sign your bad behavior. It's funny how your boys will always co-sign your bad behavior. They'll always steer you in the direction of destruction. I never trust people like that. She went out there and did it anyway. She said, Joe, I was with this man, that girl, that man. I was doing me, I'm making six figures. I'm out here, I took the pill, the pink pill, you know the one. Just like men take the red pill, she took the pink pill. And she said, one day she was feeling a certain way and she blew it off. She went to a routine mammogram and they found a lump. She had breast cancer. And it hit her. She said she was so much in shock that she thought she was still married. Because she was like, okay, I'm gonna go home, my husband's gonna do this. It didn't dawn on her until she walked into her home that she was alone. So she said the man she had at the time, she told him, he was like, babe, we're gonna do this, we're gonna beat this. So it started treatment. She said 2 treatments in, that joker was gone, Joe. He was like, I can't handle this, Said she started getting sick and, she getting weak and she couldn't do certain things. And I asked the question, I said, what happened to your girlfriends? Your girlfriend, she said, they fell off. It's funny how reality set in and all this stuff that people say in front of everybody, they don't do it. So she said, because I wasn't having mimosas and lunch and brunch on the weekends anymore. I was sleeping in the bed. I was in treatment. She said, I was so weak, Joe, I had to hire someone to put a bed in my living room to help me. I had a bucket to do my business in because I couldn't make it to the freaking toilet. He said, then I got the news that my ex-husband was getting married, had a baby on the way with a career woman. She said, Joe, I never felt so betrayed in my life. She said, everybody told me, oh, don't choose no man. You don't need no man. Always choose your career. Always do this. And they don't tell you that you can do it all. And this woman showed me she could. She had a career. She had a husband who I know is a good man. And Joe, I said so many lies about that man. And he still offered to help. And I felt bad. She said, I felt so betrayed by society and the world
Because they don't tell you as a woman that you can have it all, that not every man is the same. That sometimes, you gotta look deeper. And I didn't. I was so consumed with materialistic things. Now I got this big house. I don't have no children, Joe. And she said, it gets worse. And I'm like, I'm looking at the phone like, it can get worse than this. She said, the doctor told me they got to do a total hysterectomy. And I'm not a woman, so I don't know what that means. And I said, oh, I'm sorry. She said, Joe, every hope that I had to give a man at least a child was gone within one phone call. They don't tell you this, man. They don't tell you. They tell you all the fun stuff and everything to get you in the door to stupid city. But they don't tell you when you get in there, there's some bad stuff that can possibly happen. And it goes for men too. Because it's that good woman and it's that good man that's going to be there to help you through those times when something happens, just in case. See, marriage is not about money and cars and all this other stuff. It's about when the chips are down. And when just in case you have built up enough equity and relationship equity that you can help each other. That's what it's about. All the other stuff is fluff. Because if you die, they're going to sell your home. We live in America. They sell your home. And some other family will live in it. You will cease to exist. You die, someone gives away your clothes to the Goodwill. That's what happens. So I ask you, the hot girl summer worth it? It's your attitude and your need to be right, your anger, your position, your disposition on life. Is your being a player, having a bunch of women worth it? Because let me tell you a story about my homeboy, just in case you may think differently about men. My buddy died alone, player from the Himalayas, been a player all his life, died alone. And because he didn't take care of his children, there was no one there. They found him in his apartment. And his mother, and because his mother, his father's older, and he wasn't calling like he's supposed to, they thought nothing of it. Until his mother got that phone call and says, hey, you Mrs. Williams. Mrs. Williams said, yes, we regret to inform you that we found your son. He was stinking up the apartment. Is it worth it then? I got this relationship stuff wrong. You got it wrong. Take care.
I was
so happy to find it.
I once told somebody the reason you have a back and can't scratch your own back is because you're going to always need somebody in this world. That's why God gave you a back. If humans could scratch their own back, they wouldn't want to be bothered with anybody. The only downfall about, I think, what he said is there is the opposite side too. You could have a wife, you could have kids, and you could have parents get sick, and still nobody will come take care of you. Still won't nobody come visit. Right. There's people in old folks' homes, people in hospice as we speak, who has a plethora of grandkids and cousins and uncles, and won't nobody come visit. So whether you treat your family bad and be alone, you can die alone, or whether you have a great family, you can still die alone.
Well, it comes down to this too, Sky. Some people think they've done the absolute best for their kids, or vice versa. There's your perception, and there's the other people's perception. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to perception, please consider the other side's perception, because the way you view things and the way they view things is a difference in the way you see the world and the way others see the world. So always keep that in mind, y'all. And I'm of this belief. As long as I know I've done right by my children, when that time comes, that's on them to have to live with that. I'm not going to think about it. If I felt like, to the best of my ability, I did my job, I can't worry about the rest. You know what I'm saying? And for me, this is why I also didn't want to get into whooping, because I think at some point you have to have some line of communication with your kids. You can't dominate them, because the way you treat them when they were little, they remember all that stuff. And so when you get older and they get out on their own, they remember them ass whoopings. They remember you yelling at them, you know what I'm saying, chastising them. They remember how you treated them. So you may think about all the good times. They may be thinking about them bad times too. So you got to make sure that you, at some point, create a line of not only communication, but dialogue and respect with your kids. Just because you can dominate them don't mean you should dominate them. Because, yes, they're going to be dependent on you in their infant stage. Don't forget, you're going to return back to an infant and become dependent on them. So that karma, that's what karma is, a circle of life. It's karma itself. You taking care of your kids, they dependent on you, and then all of a sudden, them taking care of you, you're dependent on them. So be cautious of the energy that you put out.
The hell we live in, right? So that you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. So when you talk about blind faith, all I can do is believe in the Lord is going to help me in the good times and the bad times, because human beings, they fickle. You know, again, you can come out of a big family and still die alone.
Yeah.
Like, well, where was the family? Yeah, well, they didn't want to be bothered.
Well,
They
you
too
know
busy
what,
out here on vacation and having kids and families themselves.
Well, you know what? It's a difference, though, in between a person being related to you and a person being family. Right? Just related to you, it don't make them family. Nope. Family come with certain criteria. Related to just means that we're related by DNA. Kinfolk. DNA is not what makes us family. And I think that's the misperception that a lot of us, man, get twisted up. You and I, like, I could call on you, and if I could call on you and depend on you, I don't care if it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Hey, Sky, man, could you help me with bond? And if you come through, that's family. Right. You woke up out of your sleep knowing that you got to get up hours an hour to go to work, and you come through for me. That will make you family. Right. I can have people I'm related to, and I can't call them for anything. I can't depend on them for $2-3.
Preach on that one, right?
So you can be, just because we're not DNA related, don't mean that you and I can't be family. Absolutely. Because you have to look at your circle, right? Everybody you help, if you were down, can they help you? So when they hit you up and say, can you cash at me this, cash at me that, can you help me with this, help me with that? Okay, fine. But if I ever needed help, right, can I go back to them same people and them help me? And most of the time it's no, because if they can't help themselves, how can they help me? Right. And I just want to say this too. Some people, they get caught up into what social media set as the bar for what you want to have in a mate. The most important thing that you want to make sure you have in a mate is your ability to not only communicate, but them being able to meet certain criteria. And when the chips are down, can you count on them? She had a good husband and it wasn't good enough. She listening to all these other people that probably had jacked up relationships, right? And then she ended up in the same boat that they probably were in. Here, they not even having brunch with her. She can't count on them when she got sick. And here's a man that she possibly could have counted on had she worked it out with him. But she thought that the grass was greener on the other side. And then she's standing in the yard all by herself. Can't tend to her own yard or nothing. And now she alone. So it's important to be mindful of, people talk about what they think is important in a relationship. The most important thing in a relationship or marriage is, can you count on that person to be there when you need them the most? If you, as a dude, if your penis fell off today is that woman gonna still be there with you?
Mm.
If you was paralyzed and you was paralyzed from the shoulders down, is that woman going to take care of you? Ladies, if you got breast cancer, your hair fell out, it's not the same that it used to be. You know what I'm saying? You sick, you can't clean, you can't cook, you can't do the things that you used to can do. Is that man going to tend to you? Is he going to care for you? That's the most important thing. Y'all get caught up in what a person doing when they're not around you, all this other stuff. To me, the most important thing is, can you count on that person when you need them the most? If you fall down and break your hip, can you count on them to be there, or are you going to be laying on that floor for 5 to 7 days hoping somebody come by?
Absolutely.
Because, fellas, just because you find better vagina, ladies, just because you find a longer penis, don't mean that when things get hard, that person is going to be there for you.
Nope. I mean, and again, like you said at the beginning of the thing, it's, for me, it's unconditional love. So you go find somebody who can treat you better or have better sex. It's just that temporary moment. You married me for the long term. I get it. I get it now. I didn't get it in my 20s, but I get it now. You have the person at home, or your main chick, whoever you want to call her, who's there for the long term. And while you still healthy and able, you out here sleeping with these other young girls just for the period of time. But you will never marry these girls. You will never be with these girls. These girls are just pass around to any and everybody, right? But your main long-term goal, legacy building woman, is at home.
Man, I'm telling you, I'm telling y'all, the way I think, the way I feel, it's evolving. I don't think about some of the things that, and it had to do a lot with my insecurities. And I think that's the tough part for people to face, that they are very insecure. You know, they're not as confident as they think. They're very possessive, very prideful, very selfish. Love is not any of that. You know what I'm saying? Love is really all about the other person. It's not about self. Now, it should be that vice versa, meaning that whatever make you happy, the other person is supposed to fully support that. Whatever make the person you with happy, I want to grow until where I'll fully support that, right? No matter what it is. You know what I mean? I'm talking about on the Will Smith level. No matter what it is, I ask that you just have some level of respect for me.
Absolutely.
Right? That's it. Because at the end of the day, all I care about is when I need you the most, can I count on you? That's it. Because people say what you say and what you do is totally different. You know what I'm saying? Your loyalty should not have to do with anything with what makes you happy. Your loyalty is when I need you and my ability to count on you and you being there. And it should have nothing to do with the things that make me insecure. I'm confident. I should be confident within my own self. I ain't worried about what you got going on because I'm too busy moving in my own purpose. I'm moving in my own purpose that God got set for me. I want to move on that level. Some of y'all be worried about and concerned with shit. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, man, a lot of y'all, you know, man, the people that get hurt the most are the people that believe and trust and all that. When you invest so heavy into love and trust, then the people that end up in hurt and damaged the most. The people that move and say, you know what, I'm going to do right by you. If you screw up, that's on you. You have to deal with that. That's not on me. Them the people that do the most damage. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and I've learned this because you know I got 25 years. I'm not saying I got the most years. I'm quite sure there may be somebody that's watching this that probably got more. You know what I'm saying? But them 25 years is evolving. It's definitely evolving, and it's easily now. I feel like I could easily be at 50 or 60 or 70. And you know why I could be there? Because it has to do a lot with me. Man, most people got to work on themselves. They so focused on the other person, the other parties, and they don't fix themselves. Even if you marry, you got to fix yourself. If you don't fix yourself, man, you know, what another person doing should never have any indication, or it should not dictate your happiness. It should. What you do should not dictate my happiness.
Absolutely. So
You
some
go
people,
out here,
some
get
people
your
get
back
married
blown out
for
by 30 people. If
Right.
I ain't sick, I got my health. I ain't taking care of no kids that ain't mine. I ain't got to move, and I got to move in my own purpose.
Jerry Springer, AK. Yeah, well, some people get married for trust. Some people get married for loyalty. Some people get married for security. Some people get married because of soulmates. So I guess it just depends on what lane that you're coming from. But everything you're saying, other than AK, because I ain't into that soulmate type stuff. But everything you're saying, I have compartmentalized in my journey. So when shit hits the fan, or somebody lie to you, or cheat on you, or use you, or do anything, I'm not blindsided. I was blindsided in my 20s because I was putting people on the pedestal, Damo, that didn't deserve to be there. I was giving them too much credit, and I shouldn't.
It's a pride thing.
Lately,
I'm telling you,
I
Scott.
don't even worry about it no more because I've been stabbed in the back so many times. I've been blindsided that now nothing shocks me anymore. Nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Anybody that put blind faith in a person, you aren't what you get. You are not supposed to put blind faith into another person. Only
No.
person that earns our blind faith is God.
That's it.
Now, loyalty is one thing, because no matter what you do, if you there when I need you, that's all that matters. Outside of that, I don't concern myself. That is a person that is a sign of low self-esteem. And I've been there.
Absolutely.
It is a sign of low. The majority of people have low self-esteem. And the
They
sad part
depressed.
is
They have
that's the hardest
anxiety.
part for them to admit to. Is, hey man, I need to work on my self-esteem. I need other people to make me feel loved. If you need somebody else to make you feel loved, you are the biggest issue you have is self-esteem, and one day it's likely to fall apart for you.
Absolutely.
It is likely.
Absolutely. And
My esteem is moving toward a level now that no matter what, I think in the end, I can live a life of fulfillment. I've dealt with a lot of self-esteem that really was kicked back in from the way that, growing up. You know, man.
I agree. I'm with you on that, man. It's hard for me to review anything you're saying because, again, this is how I view life. This is how I view other things. It's just now I protect myself. I might not trust you, but I damn sure don't trust the little devil that's inside of you, right? People are fickle. People change their minds. Their emotions change. All of this stuff, right? All of that stuff changes. And so at the end of the day, you sitting there boo-hoo and crying, I can't believe he left me, or he cheated on me, or he had another baby. Why not? He's human. He has a penis. So why not? Why wouldn't you believe that?
Sky, you're right. Because people expect perfection from flawed people. You're asking for trouble. I don't expect perfection from anything that's flawed.
Absolutely.
If something go wrong, this is where people and they don't listen to them vowels. It's say for better or worse. What do they think they mean by worse?
Mm-hmm.
Worse, if there's no level to worse, worse can be the absolute worst. It's saying that at the worst, and it don't have no level. It don't say what level of worse. It don't give no definition of it. It's saying that you work it out through better or worse. That means y'all can win the lottery for $100 million. That means he could go out here and have like kids with 3 or 4 other people, or vice versa. You gonna love them unconditional. The vows is basically saying to love unconditional.
Right. So whether they cheat on you or they have cancer, you are supposed to stay. Right? But here's the thing. Let's go back to the courting part, the conversations that you're supposed to have with these women. I know this is what the vows say, but before I marry you, let me tell you what I'm going to say. If I marry you, there's still certain things that I will divorce you and leave you for. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm telling you this now, date number one. So that way, when we walk the aisle, you like, well, you said this in the vows. No, I said this date number one. This is what certain things I can forgive and certain things that I will not forgive. So it's on you to want to marry me. When I told you up front, date one, this is what it was.
Right. And this is the part too that we need to understand, because you're absolutely right. And we need to understand this about people too. People change. Right. The person you met 10, 15 years ago and the way their view and perspective may not be the same way 10, 15, 20 years from now. Absolutely. So it's important to have conversation, because I'll say this, it's only betrayal when it's done behind your back. Absolutely. If a person come to you and say, you know what, I feel like this, and what do you think? And if they respect you enough to come, you can say no, you can say yeah. You know what I'm saying? You can choose from there what direction you want to go. Maybe they like, I can only see myself being with you 20 years ago. Now they like, you know what, man, I think, I love you. I still love you. I don't want you to think that I don't love you, but I would like to have a second wife, or I would like to have a second husband, or this and this and this and that. Long as they don't go behind your back and they come there with you, it really comes down to communication. That is the one thing that destroys most relationships and marriages. But people got to understand this. We change. We evolve. From a physical standpoint, because when you met that girl, she was 130, had them nice hips, perky titties, you know what I'm saying, flat stomach. 15 years later, now she 230. You know what I'm saying? Big back, thighs as big as her ankles big as her thighs used to be. You know what I'm saying? So people evolve. So we gotta learn to deal with change.
Absolutely. And that's the only thing that's guaranteed in this world is change. So when I show you this paperwork, I'm saying I'm protecting you and me today. And when you change next year or 10 years down the line, do you see what I'm saying? I'm protecting the change and evolution of you, because you will change as time grows. And I might not change with you, or we might not grow together, or we might not grow at the same time. So that way, when it dissolves, I ain't sitting there looking stupid with a bunch of divorce lawyers or in court and all this old bull. You know what I'm saying? No, that's okay.
And this is, and I respect AK.
Okay.
I respect what you're saying. I respect what you're saying. But this is the part that I was talking about, where love becomes more of a prison. It becomes more of a prison because it bounds the other person by your beliefs and what you view as your idea of love, which for you may be love, but for the other person, it becomes a prison. And what happens is a lot of people's marriages and relationships fail based on that. Right. And the results speak for themselves. It ain't what I'm saying, whether people believe what I'm saying or not. The results speak for themselves. The results say that the majority of relationships and marriages don't last. So am I wrong, or are the majority of other people in the way they think are wrong? Because the results say that, you know what, he may be onto something. Not saying that he's right. Be considered, what he's speaking of should be considered something that I sit on and think about, and maybe the way I view things should evolve to some extent. Because a lot of people, they just have their own traditional way, which was taught to them by somebody else, and it's just like whoopings. Most people only whoop because they got whoopings and they watch how their parent raised them, so they believe that that's the way that they should raise children. But it may not work for their kids the way it worked for them. So it is inevitable that we all evolve, if not even the way we see things. Because if it don't, then the results will play out how they play out, and people be sitting there scratching their head like, what happened? And it's like, well, you the one that didn't evolve. You should have had that conversation. Maybe having the conversation would have corrected, fixed, or changed, or change the outcome of whatever result you're dealing with. Absolutely. But people get stuck in their own way, man. I want to evolve. The way I used to think about things and view things, I wanted to evolve. for the better, because the way I may thought about it may not have been the right way. And I want to be able to admit that. I think that's the hardest part within yourself, to admit that I was wrong about this. There's things I may say, and you say he believed that, but a week from now I may, you know what? Okay, I see the different perspective of this. There's a lot of things that Sky done said that I sat back on and be like, damn, I'm glad I had this conversation with Sky, because I understand where Sky is absolutely coming from.
And vice versa. I do it all the time when we get off this podcast. I'm like, I might not have agreed during the podcast, but when I get to sitting thinking about it, like, I can see his point of view. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, well, I guess I'm understanding what you're saying, AK. But think about the people who are married and separated, right? It's supposed to be to death do you part, for better or for worse, right? So that means
they move the needle when it comes to religion.
Right, you can't separate.
People move the needle.
You know?
They move the needle. They move the needle when it comes to religion. You know what I'm saying? And you know, people they talk, and this is why I don't like to include religion in any debate, because man, and I think this is where the stronghold, where religion don't have the influence that it should have, is because people move the needle. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you can't go and do this and do this. I got a sibling that does this. It's like, dude, you forgot that I understand and I know your history. You can't now be talking like you're a reborn, you know what I'm saying? And I know your history. So be honest, and be honest with yourself. You know what I'm saying? And be humble. Because man, I know you. You know what I'm saying? And God forgives. We're supposed to be like God. So how is it that God can forgive us after making a mistake over and over, but then when it comes to us, we so prideful that we don't have no forgiveness? You did this, I'm going to punish you then for life. We ain't even going to attempt to give nobody a chance to fix it. Right? Because the first sign of forgiveness is giving somebody the ability to change. Because people should be entitled to a mistake, but they also should be given a chance to change that mistake.
Absolutely. But here's the thing, though. She said, let the past be the past. But how many times am I supposed to give you a chance? Like, I'm supposed to forgive, but I'm not going to forget. So depending on what you do, I might give you a second chance. I might give you a third chance. But I'm not going to keep saying, oh, it's the past, let it go, let it go. Then that makes me look like a fool, because they're going to keep doing it over and over again, because I haven't showed them that I'm not going to stop letting them do it over and over again.
We do that to God. We do that to God.
Mm-hmm.
He does the same thing. His law, we know right from wrong, and we disappoint him all the time.
All the time.
And we know we disappoint him, and we'll disappoint him anyway.
Absolutely.
So if we want to be like Christ, if we want to be Christ-like, right? Part of repenting is in growth. That means the way you do things, the way we're supposed to think like. And this is where people, it go over their head, and they make things complicated when it comes to religion. The goal is to be Christ-like. So if we're going to be Christ-like, then we need to move like him. We need to forgive like him. We need to become wise like him, you know, understanding like him, compassionate like him, all of that. But our pride won't allow us. The reason why we have broken marriages and relationships is pride. Pride, ego, selfishness.
And I have all three. And that's the
and I ain't gonna lie, I have all three too, and I'm trying to change that. And that's the hardest thing to change.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing.
Saying you want to change and actually changing is two totally different things.
I mean, and again, I used to hold grudges back in the day, but the older I got, I forgave, but I didn't forget. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so even now, I'm still prideful, and I'm really selfish. I'm really, really selfish. And so I'm just like, that's how they're going to bury me, because I'm never going to be perfect. So when I die and go to heaven, I never said I'm coming back to God perfect. Certain things I can change and will change, but certain things about me, he will bury me as he is. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I know, and you know what, Sky? I'm not sitting up here and saying that I'm perfect, that I got all this shit figured out. What I'm just saying is the way I think, I want it to evolve. That's part of growth. You know what I'm saying? Growth is not thinking a certain way and then just believing that without hearing. I like to hear from all sides. Even if you think I'm not, for y'all that's out here, man, AK, first of all, I want to give you so much respect for even sitting here having a conversation with us. You know what I'm saying? And we appreciate you. But for everybody else listening, I just want to say that I am with heavy flow, but I want to evolve. I want to grow. You know what I'm saying? I understand my flaws, my flaws, my faults, my imperfections, and I just want to grow in that. The way I see things, and I know that my love is not unconditional, but I want it to evolve to unconditional love. Because when it's unconditional, that's the greatest gift you could give another human being. Think of a dog. A dog's love, you know what makes a dog's love the most powerful love on the planet? No matter how you treat them, they're going to love you regardless. Regardless. I want a dog. I want to love like a dog love.
Well, you might get there. I know I probably
want to get there. I don't know if I will, but I want to.
I don't know if I'll get there.
But Sky, I really want to. I don't want to be like this next story I'm going to share with y'all.
Okay.
So a side chick stabs her boyfriend's ex 9 times. So we want to hear about this. Please go ahead and go into the story. Man, Sky, I'm having so much fun with this.
Looking on each other. We just want justice.
Her family says Brittany died the same day she was supposed to have signed divorce papers, and that Felder was her soon-to-be ex's girlfriend, adding the two women never had any prior altercations and that the attack inside the bar was unprovoked.
If I could ask her anything, I would ask her why. And why that night?
Brittany Richards, a 33-year-old native of Texas City, Texas, was her mother's only daughter and, over the years, became her closest confidant. Beloved for her amiable, relaxed personality, Brittany was cherished by all who knew her. After school, she fell deeply in love with Aaron Cole, a man she saw as humorous, handsome, and a perfect fit with her family and friends. Their love led to marriage and the joyous birth of a daughter and son, celebrated by both families as they looked forward to a bright future together, dreaming of expanding their family and settling into their newly bought home in 2021. However, their shared happiness disintegrated when Brittany discovered Aaron's affair with 35-year-old Shanice Felder. This betrayal brought their relationship to an abrupt and bitter end. Despite her deep distress and desire to keep a two-parent home for her children, Brittany knew leaving Aaron was the only path forward. They separated and began the divorce proceedings. But the saga took a darker turn. Aaron's mistress, not content with merely shattering a marriage, took her vendetta to a fatal extreme. On August 30th, just hours before Brittany was set to finalize her divorce, Shanice brutally attacked Brittany at a bar, stabbing her 9 times. This horrifying act of violence has left Brittany's family and friends engulfed in anger and grief, struggling to comprehend why Shanice would commit such a heinous crime, especially when Brittany's relationship with Aaron had irrevocably ended. The senselessness of this tragedy has not only shattered a family but has also ignited a fierce outcry for justice within the community. Welcome to the American Crime Femicide channel. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for future uploads.
So, we want to talk about this, right? And again, it is very important that I don't care how you move, you be open with the person you with and open that line of communication, because it never should have got to this point. It never should have got to this. And when you don't open up that line of communication and you playing with two people's emotions, and most of these people out here are unstable, this is what you get. So you know who's hurting? You know who suffers in all this? The kids. The kids. Because now they don't have a mother. and they're going to resent their father, and the woman that committed the crime, she don't get the guy anyway. Now you're going to prison. So what was the point?
So he lost both of them.
So he lost both of them. He lost them both. His kids going to resent him because you know they're going to blame him for that. So he lost everything too. Everybody lost. But nobody lost more than the kids and the ex-wife. Who was going to sign the divorce papers? What? And what was the point of that? She was going to sign the papers. She was going to give him what he wanted. Give you what you wanted.
Unless the side chick just wanted to stay the side chick, because if you divorce your wife, you saying you're going to go marry the side chick? Maybe she didn't want that responsibility. Maybe she's like, hey, don't you sign those divorce papers. I need for you to stay the main chick and let me stay the side chick.
Maybe that. I think that, Sky, I think that's exactly what happened, man. I think that's what happened. Because I can't think most people would have, I can't even gather my thoughts to even say. Most people would have done that because you wouldn't sign the divorce papers. Right?
Right.
Most people wouldn't have done that. You're right. But, I could see the woman doing that because the wife wouldn't sign the papers. She did it because she did on the day that she was going to sign them, and she didn't even have no interaction. It made me wonder, what did the husband say to the side chick about the wife? He had to be saying something far out there. Because she never had any interaction with her. She hadn't met her or anything.
Correct. So then that would make the boyfriend or the husband an accomplice. Depending on what he said to the side chick that motivated her to go kill this woman,
right.
He should be charged as an accomplice. But they couldn't prove it. That's why he's still out. They couldn't prove it. That's why he's still out. But you're right.
Because there is no way that they hadn't had no interaction, no argument, no meetup or nothing. Right? How did she even know that the wife or the ex-wife was there? How did she even know who she was? Has she been stalking her? Because if she didn't have no interaction with her before, how did they end up at the same club?
Good question. That is a good question.
So it's a lot of questions that I got. You know what I'm saying? And that woman's life over with. Her life is done. God, she did all that for a dude that he gonna end up with a whole nother woman.
You know how you court and vet the person you're gonna marry and be with? Please, guys, court and vet your side chicks. This is the same way you put your wife and girlfriend through the ringer. Please put your side chicks through the ringer too, because you need to know if they're stable or unstable. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is crazy. Please just quit putting your penis in anything. Please get to know these women from the neck up first. If you can get to know these women from the neck up first, then everything else kind of cool. But man, y'all give me side chicks that either want to knock your wives off, or they want you to leave your wife, or be married to them, or in this case, the total opposite. She probably wanted dude to stay with the gal and didn't want her to sign. You know what I'm saying?
Because you know what, Tom? You make a great point. Because I'm gonna tell you, a lot of these chicks don't want to be the main chick. The benefit that they see is same with side dudes. The benefit they see with being with somebody married is that they can have their fun, but then they ain't got to deal with it. You could go back to your husband. You could go back to your wife. I ain't got to deal with it. I can get my fun with you, and then I can move on.
Absolutely.
And so a lot of them don't want to be in that position. The reason why they probably with the person that they with is because they don't have to deal with them on that level.
Faith said something funny. She said, "Don't have a side chick." This is 2024.
Yeah. A lot of these women and men, the reason why they have side chicks and side dudes is they purposely go after men and women that are married for that specific reason. Absolutely. They don't have to deal with you. They ain't got to worry about you stalking them. You know why? Because you got a wife to tend to. You got a husband to tend to.
Absolutely.
They ain't got to worry about what they doing or they doing them. You stalking. Because you too busy having your own household you got to contend with.
Absolutely.
And that's why they go after.
You know, everybody has a side somebody. You can label them your work husband, your work wife. You can label them your play cousin, your play sister. Everybody has a side something. It's just how far do you go with that side something?
Yeah, I
You
don't.
can have a
I
side
don't
chick
work with
and never
nobody.
see
I got a job where I work with myself. You know what I'm saying?
and that's real talk. I'm there for the minority.
Right.
You can have
I'm
a
telling you.
side anything and not sleep with it. Do you see what I'm saying? Like I can have an outside confidant that I talk to, and they never thought about sleeping with nobody. Do you see what I'm saying? But for the majority of y'all who think with your private parts, yes, 2024.
You got to be careful of putting yourself. It really comes down to this: you can't put yourself in a compromising position. If you know you got hoish ways, if you know what I'm saying, that you got a little bit small amount of nympho in your ass. Do not put yourself in compromising positions. Don't find yourself alone at work in the office with the opposite sex. Don't find yourself, you know what I'm saying, drunk in the position of the opposite sex. Don't find yourself in the position that something can happen. You know what I'm saying? Because again, we are all imperfect. You know what I'm saying? And it really comes down to just being smart.
Being smart.
Not putting yourself in a position that gets your ass in trouble.
Absolutely. So
that's what happened, man. People they find themselves in a position to be like, I don't know what the fuck happened. You put yourself in a position for that to happen.
Absolutely. So whether you name it or something, I believe everybody has a side something. Again, you can name it work this, work that, play this, play that, because you need to always have somebody you can talk to outside of the situation. Because if you in the inside of the situation, that's all you see is the inside. So you have a conversation with somebody that you trust who can be unbiased and say, hey, you were wrong or she was wrong, blase, blase, then that's cool. But most people, when they think of side chicks or work husbands or work wives, it always has to be a sexual thing. It doesn't always have to be. But a lot of y'all niggas are just horny and shit, so it turns into a sexual thing. You know what I'm saying?
And the chicks too. I'm telling y'all, chicks too. They are fellas. Y'all think, man, just because y'all dicking a female down, or y'all knocking her down, and she telling you, oh, this the greatest. She told the last dude that's the greatest too. You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
I tell y'all, don't be too prideful.
Absolutely. And it goes for anybody, and this is just my opinion, Sky Black 101. It goes for any girl that you are with that has had a past, right? If she's not a virgin and she's in the bed with you telling you you're the best, you're the greatest, I've never done this, done that, she's told the last person that too. I guarantee I'll put everything you love on there. Whether she's your ring rat, lot lizard, groupie, holster chaser, wife, if you're not the first, when she was with her last husband, I guarantee you she told her last husband the same shit she telling you now. It's just what it is. Because a man, the old folks told me if you stroke a man's ego, you keep him for life. Do you understand? If you stroke his ego, if you stroke his penis, you keep him for the night. If you stroke his ego, you keep him for life. So when a woman is in a bed with you, if you're not her very first, the same shit she's telling you in the bed with you, she's told other people.
Man, let me say this, Faye. It's a friend, right, until it get physical.
Hey, amen. Tell her. Talk to her, please.
It's a friend until it get physical. Now, if you got to have a work husband or a work wife, the idea of it becoming physical very much exists. If that means it's an attraction. If you got a work husband, if you got a work wife, there's an attraction there. So is it possible? Hell yeah. Hell yeah, it's possible.
Okay. Well, Damo, what if her work husband is married? Is it still an attraction there?
Hell yeah. What difference do that make?
Amen.
If it's a physical, if it's an attraction for me to say you my work wife or you my work husband, hell yeah. The perspective of their possibility being that ever happening definitely exists.
Yep.
There's
So you can end up
especially when both parties
sleeping with your
acknowledge
work
that you
husband
got work husband or
and you
work
best
wife.
friends, right? So you can end up sleeping with your work husband and you best friends with his wife. Prenup.
Yeah, I mean, it can happen. Once it becomes physical, it's, you know, and it may not be side. It may be a one-time thing, but it ain't friend, or it's a friend with benefits. It's friend with benefits, but what person who truly loved their spouse, considering that will hurt them, knowing that if they knew that their spouse had a work husband or wife, would be okay with it. If you are with somebody, do you feel like if you got a work husband or wife, that they will be comfortable knowing that? Because if you know that they wouldn't be comfortable knowing that, right?
Right.
What you do? If you was married and your wife said, "Man, I'm the only one. I'm the only B. You should be," and then she find out you got a work wife, you think she gonna be comfortable? They're just friends. You think she gonna look at it like that?
Probably not. But see, if you tell me up front that you have a work husband and all this stuff, and I agree to still kick it with you, then that means in the back of my mind, I'm already prepared for whatever happens. It's that when you come out the blue one day, I'm like, oh, he's been my work husband for years. I'm like, well, you ain't never told me about this. But if you told me up front day one and I still kick it with you, then there's no complaining coming out of my mouth. Again, Sky Black is going to have a plan B and protect yourself for all situations, especially when it comes with a woman in relationships. Because they will label anything. Oh no, he's just a work husband. He just texts every now and then. He only texts me at 2 a.m. while he's at work. Yeah, okay, cool. I'm not gonna bitch and moan about it. I'm gonna go get up and go do what I gotta do the next day. Shit.
And I'm with you. I'm not gonna worry about that. That's the growth I want to be. Where I don't even concern myself with. They just don't matter. Can I count on you that if my leg fall off,
amen,
that you be my leg?
Amen.
That's all I care about. All that other stuff, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna treat a used car like it's brand new.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, I ain't. You know what I'm saying? That car got scratches on it. It got food, product, fast food, then juices in the seat. I'm not worried about it. I only care about, can I count on you when I need you the most? When the chips are down.
Right.
If I lose my job and the electric, water bill, rent, and the car insurance due tomorrow, can I count on you to come through?
Absolutely. Like the bat signal. When I put up that damn bat signal, are you coming?
No, you there. That's it. Yeah. All that other stuff, man, I just don't want to care about it. I just don't. I think people die of stress, worrying about what's going on with other people. And I don't want to be that dude. Absolutely. I just don't. I'm too grown. I got too much I'm trying to accomplish, not only just for myself, but for the grand scheme of the legacy itself that I'm focused on. I can't focus on
absolutely. That's it. We are trying to break the mold of how Black people think, move, community, marriage, legacy. We got too many broken homes. Yeah, me and Dama, we're trying to be the first of this generation to start something different, to do what our parents and grandparents can't do, and you can't move forward looking behind you. So if you were a woman that you can't trust, get rid of her. But if you trust her, protect yourself, because one day she might change.
That's all I need from her. I just need your loyalty, baby.
Yeah.
I don't care about no trust. I don't trust nothing. If it ain't the 3-letter word, G-O-D, I don't trust it. I just want your loyalty. Keep your trust.
Loyalty, the love, some type of love, loyalty, yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. But a lot of people are not built that way. So when they go into these marriages and relationships blind, you deserve to jump in that pool blind. And when there's no water in it, it's going to hurt. Trust me.
Right. And they usually do. Trusting people is what get people hurt.
Right.
I don't trust y'all. You know what I'm saying? If y'all got your loyalty, because in a way, trust and loyalty do kind of go hand in hand. Mm-hmm. If I could trust you to be there when I need you, that's the only trust I need. Can I trust you to be here when I need you the most? All that other stuff, I'm supposed to support your happiness. So you know if that's what make you happy, if you like sucking dick, just don't come and kiss me in the mouth before rinsing your mouth out. That's all I.
That you could be married or talking to a girl and she done gone and swallowed somebody else's kids and didn't want to come kiss you. What type of world are we living
Have a
in?
level of respect. That's all I ask. Just have a level of respect. All the other stuff, I don't have time to worry about. I'm sorry, I just don't. I don't have time to worry about. Just come with the level of respect. You do that, I don't have no problem. And I want to evolve further and further into that. Yeah, that seemed crazy to everybody else, but it seemed crazy that I got 25 years and then they believe what they believe and can't even get 5 years. You know what I'm saying? It's just like me trying to talk to Donald Trump or a rich person, Jeff Bezos, about money, and they got money and I don't. And I'm talking like I know everything. Well, who the real fool? Me
so
or them?
there you go. You have 25 years, and most people don't even have 5.
Wow.
Now, there's some people that's been married for 30, 40, 50 years, yeah. But you ain't talking to them. You talking to these ones on their second marriage, third marriage, fourth marriage. If it ain't working, listen to Damo. He's been married one woman 25 years.
You gotta listen to me. I'm not even saying y'all gotta listen to me. I'm just saying
you on your second and third wife, a husband. What type of women have we had interactions with? What type of women have you had interactions with, Damo?
Open-minded women. Open-minded women. I think the most important characteristic of a female is her selflessness. Her putting others before herself. A lot of these dudes find the wrong women because the women don't even put their kids first. It goes back to what I always say. You'll never hear a lot of women or men saying, I left because my kids weren't happy. It's always about their happiness. So their families are doomed before they even recognize it because it's all about them. It's that selfish part. You see what I'm saying? And most people are looking for escape plans. I ain't never stepped into anything looking for an escape plan. Yes. Do I want insurance? Yes. It's like car insurance. I got car insurance. Do I expect to use it? No. But it's there just in case. But it's not an escape plan. You know what I'm saying? I don't worry about it. You know, I feel like that I'm confident enough that if things go bad, I could pick up the pieces and go elsewhere. Right? I have that much confidence now. And I didn't years ago. But now I look at it and I'm like, you know, these are qualities I look at myself. I'm a good dad. I got a long resume of experience in marriage, which is proof that I can make one work. Right? I'm a working person. I'm motivated. I'm not Denzel or Morris Chestnut. Are there dudes that look better than me? Yes. Are there dudes that probably got better bodies than me? Yes. But there are qualifications and characteristics that I have that I know, and it's vice versa with my old lady. I know that if she'd go off and it'd be easy for her. It will be easy, right? Because she had somebody set the bar. Just like she set the bar for me, I set the bar for her. You see what I'm saying? And so I feel like I'm confident enough to make anything. That's why I don't believe in soulmates. I believe either that my vision and my beliefs either align with the person's or it doesn't. But if they insecure, then they shouldn't, you know what I'm saying? And they ain't working on it, I'm not the person for them. Because that's an area that I'm definitely evolving, and I'm not there. I'm not going to say I'm there, but I'm definitely evolving when it comes to that. And I see the importance of, people talk about self-love. You know the most dangerous person is a person you do dirty and they say, you know what, you did me dirty, I wish you the best. When they give you that reaction and they ain't going crazy, you like, damn, I really just effed this up. Have you ever been with a person you did dirty and they, regardless of how you did them, they treated you so well that you know in your heart when you leave them that you're not going to replace them? I got this book. This dude gave me this book, and I think this is powerful. It says, become the person that other people want a piece of and can't live without. Y'all don't know how important that is. You don't know what this applies to. Relationships, work, everything. And I was like, I need to take this and put this in my thoughts, no matter what I'm doing, no matter what it pertains to. become the person that other people want a piece of and can't live without. Most people aren't that because they're so selfish and so, self-centered that they can't become that. Nobody else, I don't want nobody else to dictate my happiness. I don't. You know what I'm saying? And what draws me to even be so cool with Sky is Sky moved the same way. For y'all that know Sky personally and be around Sky, the greatest man, Sky, is always motivational, positive, always open-minded. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have to have the same views as Sky. Sky respect everybody. He don't mean he got to agree with everybody, but he was, and this energy is the kind of energy that I like to be around. People like this. People like, my better half. Positive. Energy drawn. When she come around, it's just not because she look young and stuff. And I tell her, I'm like, man, you got an energy that just people gravitate to. And a lot of men and women don't have that. I want to have that. I want when people come around, they be like, man, he has a presence that's so powerful. I'm drawn to him. I'm intrigued by him. I want to evolve into that. Where people be like, man, you know what? I don't agree with everything he say. I don't agree with everything he do. But this dude, man, it's his energy. You know what I'm saying? That I'm just drawn to. Right. I want to be like this. I want to be that person that people be like, man, I got to be around him. I don't know what it is, but I want to be around him. I want a piece of what he got. And I want to interpret that into my life and apply it. Because there's people that I look at like that. I don't like to be around anybody insecure. You know what I'm saying? Because how can we teach our kids to be confident if we're not confident? We want them to be confident, and then we're not even confident within ourselves. We don't even believe the shit that come out of our mouths that we tell them. Absolutely. So I just want to say that, man. I don't want to rumble enough, but I just want to say that, man. It's not other people. I'm more focused on me. I got to focus on me. Do they play an important part? Of course.
She says she loves the way you talk about your wife.
It's important. Man, my love was selfish. And Faith, I'm telling you, I wanted to evolve. If I truly love her, then it has to evolve to what makes her happy. If it's going to be about happiness, okay, which is an important element, which is why most people can't stay together because they stuck in their own selfish ways, and then it comes to a head that don't work out, and then they wondering like, well, what happened? And they blame the other person and don't look within themselves. That a lot of it had to do with their own insecurities.
Absolutely.
I want to talk about this because I know we got into this. So imagine, Sky, this is deep. Imagine you having Sky Black Productions, right? And it's a restaurant. And you got the dang best chitlins, greens, macaroni and cheese, crispy all on the edge, right? Imagine. Now imagine you hire somebody that's not part of your family. It's a family-run business, but just like, convenience stores or restaurants or any other business, you do hire outside forces, right? They there for a year. They learning, you teaching them, you train them well. They done turned into they done mastered your family's recipe. They leave, start their own business. You run into them. Here, they done started their own business with your family's recipes. Killing the game. Successful. Would they be right or would they be wrong?
Man, that's been happening since the beginning of the time. So let me ask you a question.
Before you answer that, I didn't mean to cut you off. I want to just play this video right quick. And then, man, I want you to have that. Okay?
All right.
Hold on, y'all. Let me pour this up.
But they pay for that though.
Give them that money back. Give them that money back. How many steps? This is our name. You want to Palestine, Texas, is East Texas. She's not. So I'm the one who Palestine. She's Spanish. No, she's not. She stole the kid. Not East Texas, man. Hell no. This is our name. This is our name. Our sauce. You know nothing about this. You know nothing about this. You know nothing about East Texas. White folks big baked potatoes is like white up. My grandmother's dead. Hell no. That's my grandmother's recipe. Fuck that. Work with us. Fucking rebuild.
About what?
Hell no. I'll put my own.
No, I did get an email. I got an email with two flyers.
Yeah, that shit. I don't underhand that shit. Fuck out of here, man. That's real. East Texas barbecue. That's my grandmother. That's my grandmother. What the fuck? I got your fucking mind? That's gonna get done.
Damn.
Oh.
No. Straight up. That's what the fuck that's gonna be today. That's over with.
No,
Straight up.
and I'm calling the police.
Call the police. Fuck, we got proof. All this shit. This is under Rose Family LLC. Any fucking way. What the fuck is you talking about? I got a business account. You want to see the business card? Surprise, motherfucker.
Oh, surprise! Is that what you guys are doing?
It's a surprise, motherfucker.
Thank you. You mind, bro?
I'm sorry.
You're the woman.
No, it's not. This is mine. I'm calling the business. I'm calling the police. You don't get me up there. I'm so sorry.
Damn. They tear her shit up.
Y'all don't even know how long I just stood right here.
Yeah,
And I just got off work too.
Long air graduation.
This is crazy.
And Aces left the car good morning.
Look, I did not pay for this because they just come in here and bully. That's just no. I don't care. No. Hello?
You know how to barbecue. You know what you did.
He said you don't even know how to barbecue. All right, so I'm just gonna cut that right there, y'all. We gonna go ahead and jump right into it. Sky, go ahead. What was you gonna say, brother?
Well, first of all, I don't condone that. First of all, the guy that's running and cussing, the big guy in the other shirt, he looks white or different. But the guy that's doing all that cussing is a black person. And if you a true business person, that ain't how you handle business. You have lawyers to go do things like that. That was just some hood shit. And whoever's recording, they must have had this pre-planned for this shit to happen. So even though you got your recipe back, why would I want to come to your restaurant and you treating that woman like that? That's the stupidest shit I've ever seen in my life. 2, who created the recipe? If it was mine, did I create it by myself or did the person I hired help me create it? Was it, did I already have it created?
It was their grandmother's recipe.
Okay, right? So I already had it created. Then I hired somebody. But then then you're not a business person because it's called intellectual property. If I created a recipe and I'm going to have you use my recipe to cook this chicken or hamburger, when you sign the application, you're going to sign an intellectual property piece of paper too that says that once you leave here, you can't work for my competitors for 30 days. If I find out that you're using any of my recipe, I'm going to sue you and the competitor, right? That's true business. This shit here is not business. That's not business whatsoever. That's just buffoonery. I have no clue. Why would you film you and some other dude tearing down, scan this woman when all you had to do was say, hey, you keep doing this, I'm going to have my lawyers come get you. That's it. This was just some shit to just put, and all you did was make folks like me not want to even come to your restaurant because of the way you treating this woman and putting it on live like the shit was cute.
You know what, Sky? I couldn't agree more. I think you're absolutely right. If you're going to hire people that is not a part of the family, even with the family members that's working,
with the family,
they not have the recipe. You want them to sign some paperwork saying that when you leave here, you can't go to a competitor and you can't use our recipes to start your own business. That's paperwork. That's the first paperwork you want to sign. I don't care if that person works as a cashier at your business. You want to have paperwork signed that say, hey, when you leave here, you can't go off and run off with my recipe and start anything. Why aren't you protected? If you protected, you're right, Sky. Why are you handling that and not your lawyer?
Absolutely. And think about it. Even if she has your recipe, look, she's at a little tent. You think she's making $100,000 a year with a small tent? Hell no. First of all, my lawyer on retainer is gonna cost $2,500 an hour just a retainer, right?
Right.
So this is why they didn't get a lawyer. This is why they took it the hood route, because they either didn't have the money or don't want to spend the money to go sue somebody that's probably making $100 a week with your recipe. Like, if I'm gonna sue somebody, it better be KFC that I know has millions of dollars for me to go after. If she took my recipe and she didn't sign paperwork, okay, that's just a loss. Her word against mine, I ain't worried about it. But I guarantee you the next person that comes is gonna sign paperwork. And this woman, if she has my recipe, I want her to go sell it to somebody else. Literally. Now I'm gonna sue her and the $1 billion company that has it. Because I already have the trademark that I created it. I have the timestamp that you worked for me and you had access to the recipe. So when you take it and give it to KFC, and I'm suing you and KFC. I'm not going to pull up on a woman that's making $50 a day selling chicken out of a box because my damn lawyer is going to cost me $2,500 just to sit down and talk to him. That ain't how business works.
Right. You're right. I don't even have nothing to add to that because I think you're absolutely right, Sky. I think they were very unprofessional of how they handled that.
Right. Is she in the wrong for taking it? Yes, she is. Yeah. And she knew that it was wrong and she should have said something to him. But at the end of the day, we're not perfect. Somebody has stole something from me years ago and I still don't know they stole it. You know what I'm saying? We're not perfect. Just learn from that experience and be ready for the next time.
She said business prenup. You're right. Because she's not in the wrong. She's morally in the wrong.
Morally, yes.
If they didn't have her sign some kind of paperwork protecting themselves, she's not wrong. Actually, I think she's smart. If she see that your recipes, have granted you guys success, why wouldn't she do it? If you ain't smart enough to protect yourself.
Absolutely.
Morally, is she wrong? Of course. Somebody may do the same thing to her. But you better be careful. Because if you got paperwork to protect you, she may have been smart enough to get something to protect her.
Again.
And could steal your recipe from you. So, you got to always handle your business.
Always. So, yeah, that just wasn't a good look. And luckily that he never said the name of his restaurant or whatever.
Right.
And the people who know who he is are going to be like, no, I don't know if I'm going to come back to you, my friend. That's just a bad look. That was.
Speaking of bad looks, I didn't know that this stuff was going on in the 90s, right? But we go check out this video, and I had to go watch the video, and I was like, oh, no. Especially all the stuff we hear about Diddy, all the freak shows, and you know that ain't nothing new. That probably was some stuff that started years ago.
Absolutely.
You know what? I'm talking about years ago when Biggie was around, and I think it did. So without further ado, let me go ahead and stop the music. Stop the beat. I want y'all to check this out. I was like, damn, I ain't know this. Hold on, let me get all the way to the beginning. Hold on, my friend.
The Big Papa video. The lead woman or the lead guy in that is a transgender. Why is the lead person out of all the bad in New York City back then, even the women in the video, why was the lead a transgender? Why was there, you remember the scene in the bathroom? Why was there a transgender person in the bathroom with them? Now listen, the girl would go to the scene when Bus is talking to her at the bar, and Big walk up and move in, and then, or when she say true, stop it right there and look at the knot in her throat. Don't do what we came to do, ain't that right, boy?
Damn, that's a big attack.
Her name was Shamika. She was from Queens, and she got killed because she was didn't know it was a man, and went to ask her and found out she was a man, and he's in jail. You go and you look.
So basically, they saying I know some ladies that tonight should be having my baby. The video is on my page. So if you guys are friends with me on Facebook, I'm going to tag Sky in it. But when they showed the Adam apple, when it said true, that Adam's apple popped up, man. Let me see. That Adam's apple was like this. It popped out of there, man. You know what I'm saying?
Did he just indict himself and Puffy? Did he just say what I thought he just said on video? You know, there's no statute of limitations of murder, right? Did he just say that he had that girl murdered when he found out?
No, he didn't say he had her. He didn't say he had her murdered. He said that later on that she was dating somebody that ended up having a sexual encounter with him and found out that he was a man and murdered.
Gotcha. Okay.
So the transgender, he said her name, whatever, start with an S. But he said she was dating somebody, she/he/ whatever you want to say. I'm confused now. But it was dating somebody and found out it was not what it was thought to be, and then it was unallowed, basically. But in the video, and I got to go back, they saying that the video was standing in the bathroom, standing up with the rest of the men peeing. So I got to go watch this. I got to go back, man, because you know, when we was young, we wasn't looking for, this stuff wasn't something that we just looked for particularly when we were watching music videos back then.
Right.
But, man, looking at it now, I'm like, man, dude, that Adam's apple Sky, I'm jealous, because I don't even have an Adam's apple in there. I don't even have an Adam's apple. Ain't big.
But the real question is, why all of a sudden 20, 30 years later they bringing this up? Like,
man, because all that stuff with Biggie came out.
The girl is dead. Biggie's dead. That video is 30 years old. What are we getting out of this?
Diddy, everything in Diddy's past is coming to light. And you know what's worse? Was Busta Rhymes was in that video.
Damn, I don't remember. Shit.
Yeah. I got to watch, man. Hold on, man. I got to watch this video because I am just like, man. Hold on. Not that video. Hold on. What's the name of that song?
Call Me Big Papa, right?
Let me see. Man, that nigga got quiet because I'm intrigued now. Yeah, that's what it is. Let me see. Let me see this video. Let me see, because I'm just like, no, not Biggie. Not Biggie having. I got to see this video, y'all. I don't know if I got to cover it, because I don't know if I'm going to get flagged for showing this video. But I just want to skip some parts, and I want to see. I want to see the club scene and the. I got to see the bathroom scene. I gotta see when she's standing up in that bathroom. Because I don't remember this video. Right?
All right.
All right. I can't open it all the way for y'all. I gotta see. I gotta put my hat in it. Man. Actress, man, Sky. Yeah, them shoulders are showing up. There she is, peeing right there. True fucking players. Jump in the river and come over, tell your friends, jump in the GM3. I got the chronic by the trench. Throw your hands in the air and use a true player. Oh, there you go, right. That looked like a dude, too. right, I turn that off, man. I can't do it. Nah, she can't have no baby. Nah, man. All right, I'm moving off of that. That's scary. That's scary. Oh shit. It don't matter now, but damn, man, I'm just, babe, I'm just shocked. I know that's a thing more frequent now, but I just didn't expect it. I think I'm just surprised because it's stuff that went over our head. A lot of things when we were young, we weren't paying attention to that kind of stuff. So I think I'm just more shell shocked. You're right. It doesn't matter now. It already happened. But I just think it's just more still of a culture shock that they were putting that in front of our faces even back then. We know they pushing it now. It's no secret. They're not even hiding. But the fact that they were even promoting it back then is still a shock to me. Even though we know it existed, just the fact that they just kind of was pushing it and we weren't paying attention.
I know. Ain't that crazy?
And that's the crazy part to me.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because right now, I think you expect it. Back then, we didn't really expect that in our music video. So is it a shock right now? No. Watching the video back then, it's a shock? Yeah, that's a shock. It would be like a video coming in the 1950s with Marvin Gaye, and then you're like, man, that really wasn't a woman, that was a man. In the Marvin Gaye video? You know what I'm saying? That's a shock.
Yeah.
Does it matter? No. But you still just be like, in a Marvin Gaye video?
Right. You know what? They could have played me that video 100 times 30 years ago. Never even known it. Never known it. Well, bless her heart, she lost her life not being honest with somebody. So I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah, tough thing. Man, I want to say this, man, because we about to pretty much end this show, man. I had so much fun today. Faith, AK, Malfunction, everybody else that interacted with us, man. We glad you guys are here in and out. This show wasn't even my old lady, man.
Yeah, I'm about to say she interacted too. Thank y'all.
I just want to say this. We appreciate you guys interacting week in
Absolutely.
and week out. All right. Y'all can do us a huge favor. Our numbers are going up, and that's all due to you guys. Yes, me and Sky are hosting this, but this is not possible without you guys. So if y'all can do us a huge favor, if y'all can share this with y'all people, man. If you are entertained by it, man, man, kind of help us promote it. Say, hey, man, this is a pretty entertaining podcast. I think you guys need to, listen to. I'm entertained by it. You may be also. Share it. We appreciate it. We thank you guys. My birthday is in less than 3 weeks, okay?
Amen.
So, you know what I'm saying? Any donations that y'all can go ahead and give me. If y'all want to give me some birthday money, I appreciate it. I don't care if it's $1. If all you got is 50 cents, you know what I'm saying? I don't care. I appreciate it. Cash at me. Make sure you hit Sky. Cash App Sky, artists, or people who have any kind of business. We would love to promote your business on our podcast.
Correct.
We will work with any budget that you have. We understand that inflation is hurting everybody. And when I say inflation, $8 orange juice, trust me, I know inflation is hurting all of us. We all have a budget, and we got to stick to that budget. So whatever your budget is, we are willing to work with you. Reach out to Sky, reach out to myself. If you're an artist, we would love to play your music during the podcast to help promote you. And we will promote you throughout, let people know where they can find your music. So reach out to us. But I'm just going to leave with this, and I'm going to let Sky finish off the show. The only thing guaranteed in life is death. So do not over worry about things you don't have control of. Only focus on the things that you can. All right?
Absolutely.
I want to say, God bless y'all. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And Sky, man, I'm gonna go ahead, brother, and let you go ahead and close this thing out.
Well, again, thanks. Like he said, thanks for everybody who interact. Please like, share, subscribe. Don't forget, in a few hours, 4 hours, 5 hours from now, the D-Bling radio show, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. and then 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. for the replay. And so, hey, we'll be ready for next Tuesday, right? Next Tuesday topics, right?
Man, sure will, man. And we be a little bit closer to my birthday. Hopefully, I get my suit. I got a suit, man. I can't wait to show y'all how I'm clean up. Let me run my clean up, y'all. Hey,
that's what's up.
Also, I want to say this. I want to thank my people on Bigo. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. I appreciate all the new friend requests. Everybody that interacted, thank you guys. YouTube, Facebook, appreciate y'all. We out till next Tuesday.
Peace, everybody.
Don't forget to share this. All right, we out.